Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Erazer Your Road to Victory qualifier number 3, where the internationals and most importantly, La Grande Nation eSport takes to the pitch. France, Belgium, the Netherlands, they are here and they are vying for their 2 spots for the boot camp and of course the grand final being held in Berlin. My name is Machtfisch, and today, as it was for the last 2 qualifiers, I've got the most beautiful beard of esports here with me. I've got Schlaum.
Well, I don't know about the most beautiful beard, but I definitely know that I'm super excited for today's match. It's gonna be intense. I mean, you're saying there's also Netherlands and Belgium, but we only have 1 Belgian player in the top 16, and that's pretty much it. France, the Rocket League nation per se, is here, and they're here to show what they can do, and I'm really excited to see what kind of skill level we're gonna enjoy today, because it's I think it's obvious that it's gonna be like one step up from the German-speaking region qualifiers we had in the past 2 shows. France is the biggest force in Rocket League in Europe, and yeah, I think we're gonna definitely see that today.
Yeah, they're the biggest force. They've got the best players, and a little spoiler, some of their top dogs have decided to actually come out and play this one here, so that's going to be very interesting indeed. But before we come to that, Sean, let's talk about your road to victory a bit more. Let's look at the roadmap first and foremost, because as we said, this is our 3rd online qualifier, the international part, and we've already had 12 players from the DACH region qualifier at the Gamescom, and then of course in our past 2 open qualifiers, and now France come into the fray. After that, Game City Vienna, where 2 further players will qualify for the boot camp being held on the 26th of October in Cologne, and then the grand final. And honestly, only 2 players coming in here from France it's very good for our DACH representative, but it's going to be very, very contested here today.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only 2 players from France. Let's not forget about Paris Games Week. That's also happening. It's happening while the boot camp is on. So we will have another 2 players from France joining through the Paris Games Week. And those 2 are going to be dark horses, because we won't know anything about them. We won't have them on the broadcast. We will only see realistically who they are and what they can do in the grand final in Berlin. So that's going to be very exciting to see who makes it into the tournament through the Paris Games Week. 2 slots there and 2 slots today, and we're of course going to focus on the online qualifier today. We already have 8 names, as you said, from the DACH region that made it through the online qualifiers. Just a look back, it's Ronix, Sheila, Arashi, Layer from Quali 1, and then from Quali 2 we have Khan, Youngster, Flow and Scream. So 8 DACH players already in, and 2 probably French players are gonna be joining them tonight. We're gonna search for them, look for them. We're gonna start with 1 match in the round of 16, then we go to 1 match in the quarterfinals, and then we will of course have the 2 semifinals where we find our new possible champions. And I mean, it's very likely that we're gonna see the guy that's gonna raise the trophy in the end today, I think, looking at the participants. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There is of course a lot of incentive for players to participate, and maybe we can take a little look at that, what the players can win here. And as you can see, everyone that makes it to the grand final will get a prize already. They will have a set of peripherals powered by Erazer, of course, and then from 3rd place on, so all 3 players on the podium, basically, they will have a full decked out gaming setup consisting of a PC, a gaming chair, a screen. You can see it in the asset. There's a lot of stuff. Erazer really went all out in terms of prizes. And if we jump to the 1st and 2nd place, then you can see there's even more to win. 2nd place will have a gaming laptop, so also the potential to dominate their opponents on the road, basically. And the 1st place will also get VIP tickets for the Gamescom LAN and an even stronger and more intense looking gaming PC as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can win. And if you're just quote unquote watching, there's also a chance to win something, because we have the Erazer season pass on the Erazer homepage, where you can participate. And the more people participate, the more quests you solve, the more points you collect, and the more prizes Erazer will be giving out. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do there. Definitely check it out. Complete quests. And yeah, even though the graphics are in German, we'll just walk you through it. There are quests there. You can answer some quizzes. You can collect points. And the more people participate, the more prizes there are.
And the more prizes there are, the better it is for you. Overall, Erazer spending over 20,000 euros in terms of a prize. And you can see the prize you can see through the season pass there. There's everything, starting from the peripherals, mouse, headsets, but going up until the high-end PCs. And of course, even for the most legendary of Quest Hunter, a ticket to the Gamescom LAN, and not just any ticket, a VIP ticket, no less, to the Gamescom LAN that is happening next February, I believe. What that is going on as well. I mean, we're gonna have to talk about the elephant in the room here. We already alluded to it, Schlaum. There are some high level people that are going to be in this. Most importantly, possibly the best ones player of all time in Moxie, having, of course, the record for the highest ones MMR ever, and, you know, just being an overall beast.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones players in the world taking part here. So he's going to be the one to beat, not only today, but also in the grand final, I assume. And I just heard that we are already, in the middle of our first round of 16 games. So we need to hurry up, join the lobby and get ready. The first game has already been played. We have the match Chester versus Kokushi Brax. Oh my god, people are killing us casters with their in-game names. And yeah, the first game went 3-4 in favor of Kokushi Brax. So we're gonna join and then take you through this match. Just give us a second to get ready, and then we will have the first intense game today. It's gonna be very interesting to see what the French can bring. We had a few very interesting games, let's say, in the past two broadcasts, where we already saw a huge gap in skill between some of the players. So I'm going to be interested to see how big the gap is between the two players today.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting indeed to give a bit of insight into our two competitors. T-Jester, 19 years of age, from France, very well known inside the sort of RSCS semi-professional bubble, has got a few top 32 finishes to his name, a peak MMR in ones of 1624. That is incredibly high. That is as high as we've seen it in the DACH qualifiers from people like Sheila or Scream, for example. On the other side, Kokushi Brax, bit less known, and definitely going to be interesting, though, especially considering that he won game one. So it is currently 1-0 in the series for him. Maybe T-Jester a bit late or just need a bit of time to warm up. But I fully expect T-Jester to be on top of it. And there we got it. Everything sorted. T-Jester gets it around easily for his 8th of this game, number 2.
Yeah, we are straight into the match and ready for Rocket League action. And as we can see, there have already been 12 goals scored in just 4 minutes of gameplay. So yeah, that brings up our hopes a lot. I would say that we can see a real, action-packed game here. Lots of goals and lots of high-level play, hopefully. So T-Jester in the lead in game 2. We need to confirm if the score from the first match is indeed correct, or if it was T-Jester taking the first win. We'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, I mean, let's just go through the basics of once again. Shadow defense and just fake out your opponent, make use of their mistakes, or just flick the ball over them like T-Jester just did.
Kokushi, it's a tiny bit wide. He wants that flick to go over him. He wants to bait T-Jester in the flick. The problem is, if you do that and you're playing against an opponent that's very capable of flicking, this is exactly what can happen. T-Jester accepts the bait, but his flick is simply too good for Kokushi to meaningfully defend it anyway. But now he goes up into the skies in that beautiful oxygen decal. Oh, and he goes underneath! What a fake from Kokushi. Has the reset, but decides not to use it at all. Brilliant play, faking out T-Jester. The mental warfare already beginning.
And you can already tell these are two players that really know how to do it. And I'm happy that we decided to just call him Kokushi. Let's just forget about the Brax.
Yeah.
All gas, no Brax. I'm sorry, I'm already starting with the bad jokes. Okay, Kokushi is up. But T-Jester, yeah, manages to defend that one. Fumi once. Oh, and he beats him in the corner, and that should be a goal if there was enough time, but there isn't. Doesn't matter in the end. T-Jester, yeah, takes it back, wins the second game, which makes the overall score 1-1. If we're correct, we're still trying to figure out. No. Oh, it's 1-0.
This was the first game.
Okay, it was the first game, so sorry for the wrong info in the beginning. It was a bit chaotic finding our first game, but we're ready to go now. So it's 1-0 for T-Jester, which makes a lot of sense based on the score we just saw.
Yeah, 1-0 for T-Jester in this series, and he is coming in as the favorite. Of course, he is vastly more experienced than his opponent, for which he, we didn't find too much. He is SSL, but that's about all we could find of Kokushi. But he seems to be very capable indeed, and holding T-Jester at bay. The problem for him is just to overcome the mechanical consistency. And T-Jester is going to bring a beautiful flick, but that's slightly high. It's against the crossbar, and now T-Jester has got a dribble available, got all the boost in the world, got all the space in the world, and he's gonna make you pay for that. T-Jester 1-0.
Ah, great. I mean, that's just how you do it, and you can tell Kokushi, he's gonna be a bit mad about that one, because he barely missed it. Just he did everything right, but the time was his biggest opponent in this situation, and he just missed it by millimeter maybe. But it's his turn now on the offense. Yeah, that's a bit too easy for T-Jester to anticipate and defend as well. Kokushi taking control of the ball in the midfield, but it's T-Jester again with a full tank of boost, and that's too easy. Flick on the crossbar, and then on the second attempt, puts it in.
Kokushi, again, he's just shadowing on the back, on the post. His positioning is good, his idea is good, but the problem for him is he normally doesn't face people that are this good and this consistent as someone like T-Jester is, and this is where he really runs into problem. I want to see him a bit more active on defense, not just waiting for his opponent's mistake, because those mistakes will be few and far between. They will be very rare indeed. He has to take the scepter into his own hand. He has to force the mistakes out of T-Jester. Maybe he has something in the corner, has to give away possession, has to retreat, and now T-Jester again goes to the wall early up. What will Kokushi do? Again, sits back down, and again can't reach, and quite an easy shot here from T-Jester.
Yeah, not too hard to defend actually, but you can just see this is just, yeah, I mean, this was just an attempt by T-Jester, and he would have been able to do something off the rebound perhaps, but you can tell this guy knows how to control the ball, and it's really, yeah, no, he just doesn't go for the kickoff, just waits for Kokushi to bring the ball to him, up in the air, but this time Kokushi makes it, and there's an open net. This should be the first goal for Kokushi in game 2. That's a bit too easy for him, of course. But yeah, that's a typical once goal. I mean, you make one tiny mistake, and then you are on the wrong side of the field, which means Kokushi can easily score here, but it's still a 3-1 lead for T-Jester. And so far, from what we can tell, I think it's obvious that T-Jester should be the one to win it, based on just how he plays.
Yeah, T-Jester playing very solid, and especially he's got that tiny bit of speed differential that's in his favor. He just has the opportunity to go for the ball. He gets clean beats. He's not being forced into 50-50s, and he's also boost starving Kukushi really well. Basically, T-Jester is playing a very standard brand of wands, but a very good and very effective brand of wands nonetheless. Kukushi doesn't really get into the game, doesn't really get into the positions that he'd like to be in, and therefore struggles quite a bit with T-Jester now coming down from the skies. T-Jester, it's behind Kukushi, but it's against the post. The MVP coming out for Kukushi on the blue side, who now has a counterattack to his name. Flip reset, not as clean as he would like.
But you can tell, I mean, it's really not the case that Kukushi doesn't know what he's doing, you know. He's still, as you said, he's SSL. He is a very good Rocket League player, but I mean, I don't even know if there are any French players that are not SSL, to be honest. It just feels as if every French person that touches the game is just automatically good in Rocket League by birthright, basically. In the meantime, T-Jester with the fourth goal on his board. I mean, that was just a classic once goal as well, just beating the opponent and having control. And once again, he doesn't go for the kickoff. He just goes for the corner boost and then takes the ball off his opponent, and it works a bit too well, to be honest. And another classic T-Jester goal just from the ceiling, brings it up, drops it down, and it's so hard to defend because you never know when that second touch is gonna come. Perfectly executed.
Yeah, but Kukushi has to be aware of the cheat of the fake kickoffs here in ones. He has to look, especially what is your opponent doing. That's the most important thing on the ones kickoff, especially on the diagonals when people like to cheat, when people like to delay. You really have to be aware of your opponent. He tries the early challenge this time, but T-Jester saw it coming. A bit of style. Not quite a 360. A 270 will do, though, for the 6th goal of T-Jester. Half a dozen. Oh, that control is just nice.
Yeah, just basically walks the ball into the goal. And that's, as you said, goal number 6 for T-Jester. Now another open net, but he still makes it, even though he didn't have any boost. Now another aerial attack coming in from T-Jester. This time Kukushi manages to save it. But yeah, T-Jester just keeps on hammering. Now Kukushi at least beats him for the corner boost. Oh, little bump coming in. So far it's been a very clean game. We haven't seen any demos or really offensive bumps, to be honest. Nice attempt by Kukushi.
As you say that, Kukushi going for the air dribble bump, and now T-Jester will go for the bump on the air dribble, but well evaded by Kukushi. Now quick counter-attack opportunity for him. What can he do? The long corner. He's looking for the sniper. T-Jester saw it coming. It's great defense. It's runaway attack after runaway attack, but the recoveries on either defender are just good enough for those counter-attacks to not be an automatic goal. As T-Jester fights a massive pinch into it. Oh, the bounce nices him as well. And we've got our first Brazil in the first game.
Brazil 7-1 scoreline. And T-Jester really taking over. 30 seconds to go. This match is done and dusted, but we will have at least one more to go. Another chance for Kukushi to at least show a bit more of a skill set. T-Jester. And now we're getting a bit handsy. Bit of a bump coming in. Both of them in the air, missing the ball a bit. But it's gonna be a goal for Kukushi. Well done. Doesn't change anything in the end, but at least another goal scored for Kukushi, which gives you a bit of momentum maybe going into game 3.
Yeah, a bit of momentum, maybe a bit of like, maybe I could, if I play perfectly, maybe I can get something here against T-Jester. Because Kukushi, certainly, he has become a lot quicker in his challenges. He has become a lot more confident in his challenges, but it's still a tiny step, and it's still not enough for the full 5 minutes. He can contest with T-Jester, definitely can contest with T-Jester, but unfortunately just not over the entire time. I think for him, it's going to be very important that Kokushi has a good start. Maybe get a few kickoff goals, a 1-0, 2-0 kickoff goal at the start of the game, and then, go from there, because then T-Jester is under pressure, and then suddenly you just have to focus on defense, stay on the ground, try to challenge him as much as you can, and that could be a winning strategy.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, to be honest, but that would be the way to do it, to just get ahead by not just one, but at least 2 or 3 goals, and then play on from there, basically, because if you have that cushion of having a few goals that you can work with, then it becomes so much easier to really defend and also go for a bit more all-in place, basically, because you can risk to forfeit a goal without forfeiting the entire game, so that makes it so much easier. But we're gonna see who will be able to score the first one. I mean, Kokushi at least, he just scored a goal, so maybe that gives him the confidence, as we said, to really start this game from a more positive side, because if T-Jester once again hammers in 2 or 3 goals, then it's going to be very, very hard for Kokushi to come back from that.
And let's see how Kokushi can do in this game number 3. T-Jester already dribbling, but this time Kokushi coming from the backboard for one of the first times ever. Has discovered backboard defense, and it's proving a very good tool indeed in his arsenal. What can he do here? T-Jester, what a moxie flick, power on it. But saved away. Kokushi well aware, well on his toes.
Yeah, so far good defense by Kokushi, but he also needs to score himself. And as you said, he's really doing such a good job of taking the boost off of Kokushi, and now it's an open net, but he misses the shot. T-Jester, flick doesn't land, and so far it stays 0-0 at the 4-minute mark. Potentially, yes, it does. But good attempt by Kokushi. I mean, he's looking a lot quicker now, and a lot more aggressive as well, as you could see just a moment ago, really going for the bump. But yeah, what can you do, to be honest? What can you do?
Read him and weep, boys. T-Jester coming in, perfect control, and he doesn't go for the reset. He fakes the reset, in fact, to just go for the one touch over the defender. A little bit of angle introduced to that last touch as well, completely catching Kokushi out. And with that, T-Jester takes the lead, but finally, Kokushi recognizing a fake kickoff. A little bit too late, unfortunately for him, but still, at least not giving T-Jester the ball completely for free, but this time, oh no! He's chosen boost over ball.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, you can do that in threes, but if you don't have a teammate that's taking care of defense, that's not a good idea, to be honest. And yeah, he gets punished straight away. But as you said, I mean, we can tell that Kokushi is slowly but certainly getting more used to the playstyle of T-Jester, starting to have a bit of a better read on the opponent. But it's still 2-0 for T-Jester at the start here. Ooh. And this time, finally, the demo works out for Kokushi. This is how you do it. Just brings the ball up, goes for the demo, and nothing T-Jester can do here. Very well played.
And it's the first air dribble bump that actually lands, if I'm not mistaken, in this entire series. Up until now, the players have been really good at just evading the bump, evading the demo. But right now, Kokushi comes down from the ceiling. Can he get it past T-Jester? No, he cannot. T-Jester jumps up quickly and gets the back boost crucially for his counter-attack. What can Kokushi do? Doesn't go on the backboard, and that's going to be his demise. Oh, no, the boost saves him twice.
Oh my god, maybe he has a teammate after all. The double post. Jesus. Oh, that has to be a bit frustrating for T-Jester, but he's still in the lead. But it's such a close game, and Kokushi, he fakes him out. Well done, Kokushi is back.
Speak about frustration. First you get the double post, and then your opponent completely fakes it. T-Jester, granted, he was on low boost, but still very well recognized by Kokushi, incredibly well executed on that promise of the counter-attack. And suddenly, after 2 minutes played, it's all square, but there comes a bump. But the counter bump saves it away once more for Kokushi, who is playing miles better than in games 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's really night and day for Kokushi. He's working hard to at least take this to game 4. And also a lot less goals scored in comparison to the first 2 games. So the two of them are really getting used to the other's play style, which always results in a bit less goals scored. Because you just know what the opponent is trying to do, what his moves are. T-Jester once again with the bump, but he makes it happen. Wow.
Wraps around it. The bump actually helping him out. His initial pop-up high was too high, but he bumped Kokushi into that saving action. And with that, Kokushi sort of gave that goal to T-Jester. Fake kickoff recognized again, going for the straight shot. Easily cleared away. T-Jester ground pinch opportunity. Nope, Gross going for a ground double tap instead. That ground double not quite working out as well as he'd hope. But still, as this game 3 starts to begin to wind down, T-Jester certainly, I'd say, still in control here, Alex, but Kokushi stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, it's a much more evenly matched game as the first 2 ones were. And Kokushi, he's still struggling, but it's not over. Now going up, but T-Jester takes control of the ball, and now Kokushi, he has to run back to defend this, makes it in time. But once again, T-Jester, he gets bumped, but it doesn't matter at all. Just takes the game into his own hands now. 4-2 lead with 1 minute to go. This is going to be tough for Kokushi.
That recovery of the sidewall is just something else. The one little pop-up high to himself. Well, and that's all she wrote for that goal, basically. After the recovery, no chance for Kokushi, who was just caught like a deer in the headlights between himself and the goal. Now off the ceiling, T-Jester comes, and T-Jester will not be denied. Early challenge attempted from Kokushi off the back wall, or rather off the ceiling himself, but T-Jester just a little bit too quick.
Yeah, well, it almost feels like Kokushi has realized that there's nothing he can do here anymore. Let's see if he's still fighting for it. Another Kokushi goal would be great to see. But T-Jester, now he has the confidence. Now he has the 3-goal lead, which makes it so much easier. And that's also going to be in. Now the bumps are really starting to help him out.
3-goal lead. Make that 4. T-Jester clearing his path. I don't necessarily need to shoot hard if there just isn't a defender to defend the net. And with that, 35 seconds left in game number 3, I think we can call it here that this game will go to T-Jester, and this series will go to T-Jester. Of course, he comes into this playoffs bracket as seed number 3, and we can see why yesterday in the Swiss only losing 1 measly series, and that was against Moxie. So, you know, who could fault him?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the law here, I would say. I think Moxie didn't lose a single series, so we're gonna see quite a few players that have this loss against Moxie in the statistics. And as we said, Moxie's gonna be the player to beat here. Will be very interesting to see. It's almost guaranteed that we will have him on air later in the semi-final if nothing very weird does happen. So T-Jester just toying around now, keeping up the ball, but now it's on the floor, and that means we have a winner. 3-0 in the series, and that's the win for T-Jester. Very well done, and as you said, I mean, just the skill level was quite a bit of a difference between the two players. Kokushi had this, like the first half of this last match really looked good. It looked as if he could take maybe a game off of his opponent in the series, but T-Jester, took control back after really struggling to make it happen, and then in the end, the scoreline was very one-sided again.
Yeah, it's almost like T-Jester was like, okay, my opponent stepped up a gear, and now, I mean, to be honest, Kokushi played really well in that last game. I think he clearly stepped it up. But T-Jester just has a few more gears to go to as well, and that's a bit of a problem. You could see it there in the sort of last 2 minutes of game number 3, where again, T-Jester was just that little bit quicker, had a little bit of an edge. Again, the mechanical consistency coming through, and with that, pretty much unstoppable for Kokushi, but that doesn't mean necessarily that T-Jester is going to be unstoppable for everyone in this bracket, because as we said, there's not just Moxie in there, there are some other very, very high-level players, Sizen among them, that are in this bracket still, so that's going to be very, very interesting. But T-Jester, regardless, moving on to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, T-Jester, our first quarterfinalist, while we're waiting for the rest of the round of 16 matches to conclude to see which pairing we're gonna have on the broadcast next. It's gonna be very interesting to see. I mean, as you said, there are quite a few pros joining us here in the Erazer Euro to Victory and unleashing their game on us and on the service and on their opponents as well, of course. So it's gonna be very, very interesting to see who can make it through. T-Jester, to be honest, it was a really, really good showing comparing it to the online qualifiers we've had before, like the 2 German-speaking region qualifiers. With that skill level, he would have made it through there, I would say.
Difficult to say. I think there's certainly it's always difficult to say in the ones, like how the matchup works specifically.
That's true.
But he wasn't within a shot. I'd say he would have been within a shot. Very, very strong play from Kokushi. And, well, with that, his hopes are over. But, of course, not everyone's hopes are over. Our first round has finished, or almost finished. We've seen T-Jester beat Kokushi. We've seen also Skal beating Papalabom. And honestly, that match 2.4, Skal vs T-Jester, that could be quite a juicy one. And I think we are actually we're only waiting on match 1.4 because Moxie, I've seen earlier, Moxie's probably beating this.
His opponent done already, I think.
Sniper, I think that was the original match we wanted to show, but I think Sniper is not available today, so Inais won that one. And I think we're just waiting on Anorik versus La Carpe to see who goes through and who is going to match up against Sebora. And speaking of Sebora, fourth seed coming out of the Swiss stage, and just like T-Jester, a very, very strong player.
Yeah, very strong player, as you said. Also made it to top 23 in RSCS this year, and he also managed to achieve a top 32 finish in the Champions Road 1v1 tourney, where a lot of really high-level players were participating. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can bring to the table. And as you said, we're just waiting for the other match to conclude, so we know who he's going to be up against, if it's going to be Anorik or La Carpe. So that's going to be interesting. That's our next match we're going to show, and I can't wait for it to start, because we kind of came into this first matchup between T-Jester and Kokushi a bit struggling to find out what's going on. So it's going to be nice to see or to just be within a match from the very start. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, just be in a match from the very start. Know both players from the very start. But of course, before we get to know our players that are going to be in this next matchup, there's some opportunities for you to do back at home, because of course Erazer is not just doing everything here for the players on the pitch, but also for the viewers off the pitch. If you want to check out seasonpass.erazer.gg, where you can make an account first of all on the Erazer platform and then complete a multitude of quests to win prizes and to get points, and then to unlock prizes with those points, and everything the pros can win, you can win as well. Gamescom LAN VIP tickets, a PC, gaming chairs, discount codes for the Epic Games Store, and of course for the Erazer Store as well. So everything your heart may desire to unleash and to level up your game, brought to you by Erazer's Season Pass. So definitely go check it out, seasonpass.erazer.gg.
Yeah, I just saw that the match has concluded, so the matchup is going to be Zibora versus Anoric. Anoric beating Lacarp with a 3-0 scoreline. So yeah, both of them really making short work of their opponent. Zibora lost one match to someone. Yeah, that player is actually named someone, so I know who it is, but that's just a nickname. And yeah, it's still going to be quite the interesting matchup, I think. I'm looking forward to it. We're just waiting for the players to join the server, and then we can jump straight into the action. Yeah, maybe we talk about the playoffs a bit more. We have another matchup, or 3 other matchups happening at the same time. We have Moxie versus Ines, and then we have Sizen versus Lesky, and T-Jester versus Skull, all happening at the same time. And then we're gonna jump into the semis, and those are not gonna happen at the same time because we wanna definitely see both of those games happening here live on stream, and we also want to find out who our 2 participants for the grand final are. So we're not going to miss anything in the semi-finals, which are basically the finals for today. We're just going to have 2 of them, and we have 2 players winning today and taking one of those slots for the grand final and for the bootcamp as well.
Yeah, and as you speak of the bootcamp, that's going to be very interesting. There are going to be, well, the way this bootcamp is going to work, there are going to be 4 coaches at the bootcamp that have been pre-selected by Erazer, and they are going to basically pick themselves teams of 4 players to coach over, I think, 1 day it is in Cologne at the, well, I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but I have some ideas where it might be in Cologne. I mean, if you think in Cologne and esports, I think the Experion or something like the SK Gaming offices come to mind immediately. So my best guess is it's probably going to be one of those 2 facilities where the players are just going to be taken under, maybe get a few tips from pros. We've already heard that Rizix is going to be there. We presume Raziers is going to be there as well from what he's been talking about publicly. So that's, of course, 2 coaches already there. That's very high level pros in their own rights. And it's going to be very interesting how they can affect these players that they take under their wings during a day, what they can turn out of it, and also how they can network with each other. Because let's not forget, that's the beauty of speaking to each other live. You know, that you just take the opportunity to network. You know the people behind the desk, but in real life, they are completely different people sometimes.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be very healthy also for the grand final. If all or almost all of the players, bar the ones from Paris Games Week, already know each other. You know, they've met each other. They had some time, like without cameras rolling, to just get to know each other, spend some time. They will have some training matches, of course, but in the end, it's all about connecting with other people that are into Rocket League, that are into esports, and just having a good time together. And I think it's going to be very helpful also for the general vibes in the grand final, if all of them kind of know each other a bit. And there's going to be banter, of course, but in the end, I think it's going to be a very, very tight-knit group of players in comparison to not having the bootcamp, let's say. So I think it's a very good idea to do this bootcamp. I'm sure all of the players will also have something to take away from the bootcamp, be it improving in terms of one's Rocket League, all that, but also just connecting within the community and getting to know some of the higher caliber pros maybe.
Yeah, getting to know each other, getting the players that flame you in ranked all the time, or you flame in ranked all the time. They might actually not be bad players or bad people. That's always a interesting stuff or interesting thing to discover. But of course, we are stalling a bit because we are waiting for the. We are waiting for our 2 players. We are waiting for Zibora and Anoric to come and join our lobby. But whilst we still are waiting, what we could talk a bit about those 2 specifically. Zibora, we mentioned it before, top 32 in the RLCS and also top 32 in the RLCS sort of off-season 1v1 tournament that was just held, the Champions Road 1v1 tournament. Top 32, definitely nothing to scoff at. Anaric, very similarly ranked as far as MMR goes, as far as rank goes, but doesn't quite have the competitive pedigree behind him. So that's going to be a interesting discovery whether or not there's a visible skill gap, or if RCS placements aren't actually all that important.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, we're gonna see once they join the server and start playing. But it's always a bit tough to just base your assumptions on some statistics, because we've seen it also in the first qualifiers that sometimes that doesn't really mean a lot. It could happen that someone that hasn't played like any official stuff yet could still be the next talent we're gonna find here, and that's what the Erazer Euro to Victory is all about. Just finding these brand new talents, finding youngsters that are really giving a shot maybe at making it to pro level, and maybe one day even earning some money by playing Rocket League, which is the dream for all of these young guys, really spending so much time on the game. They want to get to the pro level and try and be the next superstar, I assume. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of level we're going to have in this next matchup. And I think once in general with the recent announcements regarding RCS is going to be a bigger focus for a lot of these players that are trying to make it, because for those who don't know, in the next season we're gonna have an official RCS once tournament, basically. So this could be another entryway into the pro scene, basically, because in once you just don't need to look for teammates in the off season. You can just focus on this one game mode, beat your opponents, and honestly, if you're gonna be a very good once player, that at some point or another an orc is gonna come knocking at your door and be like, hey, we've seen what you can do. Would you like to do this wearing our jersey? So I'm really excited for this, because I think more variety in the RCS esports or Rocket League esports in general is always helpful.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen in the past, time and time again, the greatest expected rookies come in, be absolutely once machines. When season 6 or season 7 rolled around and Scrub Killer finally was legal, he was hyped about 2 years since he was 13, because of course back in the day the age of RCS wasn't 13, it was 15. You needed to be allowed to play, and he was at the time the best 1v1 player in the world. So his arrival was greatly anticipated. Same with the Middle Eastern guys, someone like Ahmad back in the day, someone like Khaled back in the day, and even now more recently Ravas, for example, absolute once machines that have now made the name for themselves in 3v3 in the RCS. And also, of course, other players such as Moist recently, Zen. Absolute once machine, had the longest winning streak in sort of the Johnny Boy once show match circuit of, I think, 13 wins in a row or something ridiculous like that against the highest caliber player there are. And then he came in, of course, at the back end of last year, 2023, did a perfect spring split and was world champion. So, once can be indicative of, Three's skill level. Once can be indicative of especially a good mental state, because once is basically at its core psychological warfare.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, of course, you need the basics, you need your mechanics, you need your game sense, all that. But in the end, it's just you on the pitch, and your biggest enemy is yourself, basically. So in threes, you always have someone else to blame. But in ones, if something bad happens, it's my fault, and you need to recover from that and really keep that mental state in a positive direction and not be tilted, basically. Just keep going forward. Also, accept the fact that goals are gonna happen. It's almost guaranteed that the opponent is gonna score on you. You just need to have this mental fortitude to know, okay, if he can score, then I can score as well.
Yeah. I mean, and especially always consider the possibility of a comeback. In ones, it is, and we've seen it in the German-speaking in the DACH qualifiers. Comebacks can always happen. If you're 3 goals behind, it's no reason to forfeit. If you're 3 goals behind, you automatically think that's doable, because kickoffs exist, and because you can. One attack literally takes 5 to 10 seconds. If you've got 40 seconds, that's more than enough time for a 3-goal comeback, for example. So that really makes you more at ease with not just scoring goals, but also what your mental state is when you're conceding the goals and when you need to make a comeback, where you are automatically, I'd say, a bit more calm overall.
Yeah, I think being calm is also a skill that you need to learn, because I've seen so many players really getting on a level that is not healthy anymore. I mean, some hype can always help, can always make, especially in threes where you have a team around you. If you have someone that's always pushing, always, delivering those fist bumps, all that can be really helpful also for the team itself. But there comes a point where too much hype can be a problem, because you still need this inner Zen mode basically to be focused and really concentrate on what you're doing. And if the adrenaline is somewhere, on a too high level, then it can be detrimental to your performance. So it's always a very, very thin line you're walking on, and finding the right balance is also different for every player. There are some players that really need this hype around them, and other players just want to be in a quiet room, just focusing on the game and being in the zone basically.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've had quite a bit of break time. I'd say, so we don't stall anymore. Let's call it to commercials really quick, and then hopefully after the commercials we'll get you a game. We are still waiting on one of the players. Sibora has in the meantime entered the lobby. Anurik has got no sign of life from him, but we'll go to a quick little commercial break, and then we'll be right back with you with match number 2, the quarterfinal between Sibora and Anurik. Welcome back to the Erazer Your Road to Victory, and welcome back to the quarterfinals. We simply decided to switch series and now are spectating Sizen versus Aleski. And I mean, Sizen, anyone that's known the RCS for a bit knows who that is. Player of Team Vitality, formerly a major contender, not just major contender, but major elite top 8 finish at the Winter Major 2023 and already 1-0 up in this game.
Yeah, and I think from what we saw, he already won the first game of the series. We're going to confirm that in a bit. But yeah, I mean, Sizen, he is a household name in the French and in the global Rocket League community. And honestly, I'm so happy to have a Sizen match again. I remember casting him in RSCS back when he was playing for Atlanta Wave, for Williams Resolve. And then, of course, he switched to Team Vitality, where he spent quite a bit of time. And yeah, he definitely is one of those talents in the French scene that has made an impact on the global stage. And we can see here he's also making an impact in the goal of Lesky. 2 up already after 20 seconds played.
I mean, yeah, just a very storied career already for Sizen. Getting one on the hand of Lesky, who has scored in the prior game. We just saw the end of, we just saw the end of game screen. There was 7-6, so it was just a 1-goal game in favor of Sizen. I, of course, don't know any context behind that. But as we move now into this one, Sizen, of course, is expected to win this. But Lesky, not a bad player in his own right, coming in here with a respectable, MMR score. But of course, much outclassed by Sizen as he is here again, quick on the recovery, and then the third goal.
Yeah, third goal, perfect answer for Sizen after conceding one, just scoring again. Fake kickoff now with the backflip. Now Sizen up again, really flexing a bit with his mechanics here, faking it out, but Lesky manages to read it and save it. Good job. Oh, and now he just found the perfect answer. Makes the old pro look a bit silly.
It's an opportunistic challenge there from Sizen, but Lesky had him read, knew that Sizen was going to turn and quickly flicked it past the RCS veteran, who's now these days found himself a bit more in the bubble rather than at the very top level of the RSCS. Going around rosters, not really finding the right fit for him, but of course we still know how good he can be. However, he's got problems here. Lesky, that's going to be his third.
And that's the equalizer. 3-3 scoreline now, open game. And we had 6 goals scored in 1 minute and 19 seconds. So this is going to be quite a fireworks, this game. Or it already is, of course. Both of them going for the kickoff this time around. Sizen struggling to find some boost. Just decides to kick the ball as far away as possible. And Lesky with another direct shot on the goal. And just catches Sizen off guard here. I mean, I'm a bit surprised that Lesky manages to get those goals done.
Yeah, Sizen seemingly playing very laissez-faire, and Lesky completely punishing it. Let's see what Lesky can do in defense, though. That's going to be the big task. Sizen, just a quick little flick, enough power on it, and immediately equalizes. 8 goals in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Rocket League One's fans, eat your heart out.
I mean, that's what we're here to witness, right? As many goals as possible, as many nice goals as possible as well. And that was quite a perfectly executed flick out of Sizen. But this time around, he has to turn quickly to stop this attempt by Lesky. Now another big chance for the Sizen, goes for the direct shot on the goal of the opponent, but that was a bit too easy for Lesky to read. Now Sizen up. Tries for the ground pinch maybe, but gets read by Lesky once again. So Lesky's really doing a good job in defense, in reading his opponent. Sizen Takes the corner boost at Lesky. He's so starved for boost. He's drained. He doesn't have any boost left. Now gets the corner boost, but immediately demoed by Sizen. I can feel the frustration building for Lesky. Nothing works his way, and Sizen just keeps on shooting and shooting and shooting, and now he's made it work. There's only so much you can do in defense. Good job by Lesky, really holding on to it for a long, long time, but it wasn't meant to be. Sizen brute forces it.
Well, the backboard just peppered and peppered and peppered until eventually there was no give anymore. Sizen getting the one goal by, as you say, just by brute force, and now diving in early, gets a great challenge off the backboard. What can he do? It's a touch, but it's not a pass unless he gets his bumper onto that one. But Sizen in the air, this is where he's going to be incredibly dangerous, and this is where he's going to be almost unstoppable. Scratch the almost. He is unstoppable. Sizen, 6th goal for him.
The control. Very, very nicely done by Sizen. And there's just, that's one of those goals where you can just sit and watch and appreciate your opponent's mechanics, and then just think about your next move after the goal is in, because there's just nothing you can do. And Sizen make it 2 in a row with the control. I mean, as we said, first out of these 3 goals in a row for Sizen was just brute force, but now he's styling on the opponent.
Yeah, he really is styling, and he's Lesky just at the moment doesn't quite find the challenges. His approach is try to keep Sizen away from goal as often as you can, and then be lethal in offense. And lethal in offense, he's trying to go for the bump, but the bump not coming through. Now Sizen flick up high. It's going to be easy save for Lesky, but again, Lesky wasting boost and needing to use boost for all these saves, where Sizen can just take all the corner boost to his name and then go for the kill shot. Oh, he fakes the reset, then goes high, crossbar down, is going to go in. Yes, eventually Sizen will push it over the line, but it's just brilliant. Take both big boosts from the opponent, starve him out, and then go for the kill.
Yeah. And just the killer instinct on Sizen. I mean, the first attempt with the quick turn in the corner and the direct hit on the goal didn't work out, and then he just kept on taking the boost of his opponent, as you said. And if you just keep attempting it, it's gonna work in the end. But now Lesky with the open nets. Thank you very much. I'm gonna take that one. Sizen misses the attempt on the bump in the air, and Lesky just manages to score, but it's still a 3-goal lead for Sizen with 1 minute and 3 seconds to go.
1 minute and 3 seconds, a healthy lead, but kickoffs, we talked about it earlier, can make everything happen for you, Lesky. There's the first.
I mean, 5 seconds for 1 goal. Should be plenty of time for 2 more. Let's see what Lesky can do.
It's well controlled by Sizen. Lesky retreating back rather than just trying to chase for the ball. What a flick though from Sizen. Lesky, 4 boosts, 1 boost to his name. That's not going to be enough. Shot after shot, perfectly placed underneath the crossbar. Lesky has to jump up. Lesky has to save them. But after the first, no second will be found.
Yeah, it's so tough to defend those ones, because if the rebound just goes in front of the opponent, then there's just going to be another shot coming in, and there's nothing you can do. At some point, you're going to be out of boost, and you're going to be in a very, very tough situation to defend again. And that's what we can see here again. Sizen just peppering the opponent's goal with shots, and Lesky, he's doing everything he can do, but it's just so hard to defend so many shots. And also the placement from Sizen is very, very perfect. And the first double-digit scoreline we've seen today, 10-6 for Sizen now.
Well, good, better Sizen, as it stands right now. But still, I want to give some credit to Lesky as well. 7 shots and 6 goals. Most of them counterattacks, but some of them also past the size and being there in defense. It's great efficiency. It's exactly what you need against an opponent that is, well, nominally on paper so much better than you. But unfortunately for him, Sizen is just an absolute force of nature in offense. 17 shots, and if you just have that many shots, it doesn't quite matter how many saves you put up because the goals will still be coming through.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you're just gonna keep on attacking, and Lesky, as you said, most of his goals were counterattacks because he didn't really have any say in who's controlling the ball in this game. Sizen was just in offense mode almost all the time, and I think the match is already finished, so this must have been game 3. And that means it was a 3-0 victory for Sizen, I assume.
It's either 2-0 or 3-0 for Sizen.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be back in a second. We'll see.
As much as we know he might be back, if Lesky leaves, we know it's completely over. But yeah, I know he's coming back, so it's the 2-0.
Oh, okay. It's 2-0. Perfect.
It's 2-0 in the series of 4 sides. So that was game 2. So we saw, then we saw the end of game 1, 7-6 win for sides, and now 11-6 win in favor of the ex-pro. And what can Lesky do here is going to be the most important thing. And also, I'm going to question, what has Sizen changed? Has he changed his car?
Now we'll see in a bit.
Well, he has joined.
Still on the Fennec.
Changed design, I think. Yeah, it's still the Fennec, of course. It's going to be the Fennec.
Yeah.
Everyone playing that particular car at the moment. Well, everyone except for Monkey Moon, and he was just crowned world champion.
So, I mean, can't be that bad then. But yeah, sometimes I miss the days of really more variety in pro play. There was a time when we also saw a lot of dominance being played, especially by Spanish players, as far as I remember. And of course, you already had some weirdos around all the time. Cooks here with the Batmobile. Stuff like that. Always more fun for the observers to see a bit more variety in cars. But Fennec it is, it's okay.
I mean, there's still some OCE pros that go for the dominance. Most importantly, Torsos, the absolute legend, that still is in his trusty dominance. And Lesky, in his trusty Fennec, is going to be able to equalize quite quickly. No runaway for Sizen, who misses the demo in the corner and just gets a great touch out of it. There's Lesky.
This is the perfect answer for Lesky. Just don't let Sizen run away with a 3-0 lead or something like that. Just keep the score close, and an equalizer is just what Lesky needed. Who's gonna be the next one to score? Sizen. Oh my god, it's starting again. Sizen just peppering Lesky's goal. And with the boost advantage, he just makes it happen. Nothing that Lesky could have been done.
Yep. And with that, it's a lead for Sizen. Again, and Sizen just playing such perfect Rocket League. And such perfect, theoretically wants Rocket League as well. This time doesn't quite get the ground pitch, but still gets to go through. But normally what he does is he gets the first shot up high when he knows his opponent is slow on boost. His opponent then has to stretch, has to go up and find the save, in which time Sizen goes around to one of the corners, grabs the big boost, and then puts another belter on net, and which normally then results in a goal. That's just how you theoretically supposed to play one's offense if you really want to out-pressure your opponent, but you also can go fancy. Flip reset, though, missed by Sizen.
Yeah, Lesky, once again, so much pressure on him. Sizen manages to take the ball up. And now it's an open goal. It's going to be the 4-1 for Sizen or not. Not quick enough. No boost for Sizen. And it's going to be Leski's goal. Well, that's what happens in ones.
Sometimes I don't need to be good. Sometimes the opponent just needs to be slightly less than good. And you can score. That's the brutal reality of ones. Leski, again, not a lot of shots. A lot of reward, though, for his shots. 3-2. Leading. Well, not leading the series, but still keeping the game close. Size a double flip reset, and then a beautifully placed shot to the bottom left. That is just brilliance.
Yeah, it's almost. Yeah, you can see Leski just missing the timing by a tiny bit. And Sizen with the 4-2 lead. But as you said, I'm really impressed by the way that Leski manages to profit off those mistakes of his opponent. So all the goals he's scoring basically are just taking advantage of the mistakes that Sizen will have from time to time. But yeah, Sizen perfect control. 5-2 lead. And that's also something that you have to say about Sizen. Even though some things he does don't work out, he always manages to make it work or make it happen in the end. It's very, very good recovery from his mistakes so far.
Well, that's a backup plan always for Sizen. His recoveries are just good enough. And in this particular instant, he just baited Leski into going for the big boost. He thought it was going to be a race for the big boost, but alas, it wasn't. Sizen just had the control, even on low boost. And that's what differentiates really the good players from the great players, from the very best. Is what can you... Great, you're good with boost, but what can you do when the going gets tough? What can you do when you actually don't have a lot of boost and have to make every sort of ounce of it, well, work for you? So Leski is tasked here, 0 boost to get a save, but of course, Sizen's flick, too high, too strong, too good.
Very well done. Both of them bumping each other. Got a bit rowdy there, but Sizen in the end manages to put another one into Leski's goal, which makes it 6-2. And it almost feels like it's over already. It's so tough for Leski to find any answer to what Sizen is doing. He's just super busy defending most of the time. And yeah, when you're defending, it's gonna be tough to score a goal. So let's see what Leski can do. Sizen out of nowhere. Maybe that's the way Leski can make this comeback happen, by just demoing Sizen. Can always be a way to stop a stronger opponent, to just not let him play. But Sizen, he's here to play, he's here to style. What a goal again.
He's here to play, he's here to win, he's here to qualify for boot camp, and of course the offline finals in Berlin. And Leski, you know, Sizen just had such a read on Leski there. He knew the clear was going to come into his own corner, so he just simply drove down the left flank and be like, okay, I know you're going to pass it to me eventually, so I know I'm going to have a good opportunity there at goal. But what can Leski do here? Going for the pop-up, second pop-up high. Nice. Leski finds one on Sizen.
Yeah, we just need more of that out of Leski. Also with the little bump in the end. Yeah, but with a 4-goal lead, Sizen is just not going to care about that. He's just going to keep pressure up. Wins the duel at the kickoff. And just answer found immediately. Just whenever there's this tiny bit of hope for Leski, Sizen just says no.
Sizen's like, yeah, nah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, mate. That's just simply not gonna happen. But still, Sizen coming in through. 5-goal leads now. Now he can afford to start now. He can afford to be a bit more loose in his challenges. But still has got a perfect read on whatever Leski tries. Sizen is never surprised by Leski. His read on the opponent, absolutely immaculate. What can Leski do here? Looking for a bump on Sizen, who pre-jumped early. Makes the bump difficult, gets the save. And now's the opportunity with the counter. Does he have the power? No, he does not.
Just trying to put it in directly, but yeah, as usual, second attempt makes it happen. As you said, always a plan B.
Always a plan B, always something that works for Sizen, even if the initial shot doesn't. And now with just 40-odd seconds or 30-odd seconds remaining, again, comeback. Not just unlikely, but probably impossible from this point onwards for Lesky, who's going to concede a 10th here. Double digits yet again from Sizen.
And you can really tell Sizen is just here to make it happen. One more game after this, and then he's going to be in the grand final. And from the looks of it, he's here to win this semi-final at least. Wins another challenge at the kickoff. Not going to put it in.
That's too easy.
Yeah, he wants a bit more style points on that goal. And it's crazy to think Sizen, 18 years old, but he has been in the pro scene for 5 years already.
Basically, when he turned 15 and when it was legal for him to play in the RCS, he was there. He was there or thereabouts. And now he wins again. GG's to Sizen and to Lesky, who, well, finds his master, but in the end, I think gave a really good account of himself.
Yeah, I mean, Lesky really some very well thought out goals, and also, as we said, taking opportunities into his own hands. Whenever there was a mistake out of Sizen, he tried to make it work in his favor, and a few times really showed that he could do that. But yeah, also a bit unlucky, I would say. I mean, it's always tough when you take part in a tournament like this, and then you see who you're matched up against, and you're like, oh Jesus, what am I gonna do? You know.
like at one time, yeah, it's really difficult to be like, okay, who am I matched up against? I'm playing against a pro. I'm playing against Sizen. I'm probably going to lose this one, but there's still a lot to take from this. Your defensive skills, especially, are really being put to the test. And I mean, that showed in Lesky's defense. It was really good, but Sizen's offense just better. That's the root part of it.
Yeah, that's a very good way to sum this game up, I would say. Lesky really you could tell he can play Rocket League, you know, but what are you gonna do? I mean, you're playing against someone that has been in RCS majors, that has been like in the second best team in Europe at a point, where they took the second place in the 2023 winter regional in the first one, just losing to Carmine Corp. So he is one of the top players in Europe, or at least has been. So, I mean, yeah, what are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do. Let's just, we have something to do. Let's just take a look at the bracket here. And of course, no surprises there. Moxie just steamrolling everyone he comes across, taking out the only Belgian player that's participating here in the quarterfinals in Inais, also with a 3-0 victory. Then we had the match we were waiting for, Sebora versus Anoric, another 3-0. And yeah, all of the games going 3-0 actually. Sizen, we just saw it taking out Lesky with a 3-0 victory. And then T-Jester, the guy we have seen already, is going to be playing Sizen in the semi-final, as he will be facing, or he just won against Skal. That's the way it works. So yeah, very interesting. I'm super excited to see which match we're gonna see first. Yeah, it's
the bracket is a bit confusing because it was just wrong names. We're gonna fix that fix that for you and show you the proper bracket before we go to the semi-finals. But yeah, it's those four matches. I mean, it's the four players. Or I mean, Sebora is still playing Anoric, but we assume Sebora is gonna win that one. It's the four players we expected in the semi-finals. It's nominally on paper the four players with the most experience. We're in the RSCS, the four best players that have signed up for this qualifier. So I'd say we go to a little break, a little commercial break, and then be back for you with the semi-finals and the qualification matches for your road to victory, qualification for boot camp and grand finals in Berlin. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to the Erazer Your Road to a Victory International Qualifier, where we have two players that we want to see qualifier in our two semi-finals. My name is Mufffish. With me is still Schlaum, and we are gearing up for our first semi-final.
Yeah, the first semi-final is coming up, and it's going to be very exciting to see who can take that ticket to the grand final, who will be part of the offline event in Berlin. I'm really excited to see. I mean, I kind of have my favorites in the head already. Moxie is pretty much set to win in the end, I think. But the next game is going to be quite interesting. We're going to have T-Jester and Sizen, so two players we've already seen play before, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they match up and who can take this game. And I just hope that we don't have another 3-0 game. I just want to see more ones and more intense games where it's not as one-sided as the games we've seen before. But before we head into that game, let's take another look at the roadmap and tell you all about how you could qualify for the Erazer Your Road to Victory Grand Final. I'm starting on the left side. So the first offline qualifier we had was at the Gamescom, and 4 players were able to qualify through there. Then we had 2 online qualifiers for Germany, Switzerland and Austria. Another 8 players through these 2 online qualifiers. And now the final and international online qualifier, where we're going to find 2 players from France, Netherlands or Belgium that will also join us in Berlin. Do you want to go through the next ones?
Of course, and on the right side, we are going to find our final 4 contestants. 2 contestants from Game City Vienna, and then 2 contestants from the Paris Game Week that are going to make up our 18 players that we will see at the grand final in Berlin. But that's for this qualification. Now we are going to find our 2 players from France that will qualify to boot camp and, of course, to the grand final. Our first matchup, Sizen versus T-Jester, and that's going to be an incredibly close match, and I'm really hoping for it. So, Schlaum, let's just go into it, right?
Yeah, let's just dive straight in. Both players are here, both players are ready. We're gonna have another best of 5 match between T-Jester and Sizen, and yeah, we are just ready to kick things off. This is gonna be an interesting one. I can't wait. Sizen this time around on the orange side, and he's already being pressured by T-Jester, and I think that's the way you have to play against Sizen. Just don't let him take control of the game. Just make sure that he is struggling a bit and just can't do what he wants to do. T-Jester with the shot, and it's in. Enough power on the shot, and it's a 1-0 lead against Sizen. So very good start for T-Jester. That's exactly what he needs to do. Just take control of the game and don't let Sizen run away with it.
And T-Jester benefiting there from Sizen's absolute monster of a flick. Goes on the backboard and then just an easy counterattack. These 2 incredibly close, and I think we're going to see a very, very close match. A match that could potentially go the distance as well, with T-Jester and Sizen, who has got a mechanical mistake for once. T-Jester again the beneficiary of a mistake. Fakes going high, and then Sizen tries to recover with all his might, but even that, not enough.
I mean, there is this rule in Rocket League: when you see a player going backwards, it's never a good sign, you know? Just when someone reversing in front of his goal, that's not a good sign. And you can tell Sizen is already struggling a bit with the way the T-Jester is playing. On paper, Sizen should be the one to win this, but T-Jester is really making him struggle. But this time around, Sizen takes the opportunity and takes the first goal of the series on his scoreboard. Yeah, with just a quickly developing counterattack. Very good job out of Sizen. So I think we already have a series on our hand. This is going to be intense.
I mean, Sizen is certainly the player with more 3v3 pedigree, but in the once arena, T-Jester actually, you know, a tiny smidge, at least in ranked, higher than Sizen, and T-Jester tries to assert his dominance here in this game early on. 3 goals for him, only 1 to the name of Sizen. And T-Jester being incredibly efficient here in offense.
Yeah, it's really making Sizen sweat a bit. Exactly what I asked of him. Just don't let Sizen take control of the game. And also good saves coming out. So, yeah, Sizen now has to adapt a bit. I think he's now slowly but certainly realizing this is not going to be as easy as the game before. Another great defense move out of T-Jester, just bringing the ball up far enough to prevent Sizen from scoring once again. Great save. So yeah, this brute force method is being countered here.
Yeah, but once again, then Sizen defaults back to the theoretically best tactic. Deny the big boost, make your opponent starve on boost, and then just find the one high shot that then cannot be defended. Brilliantly done and executed by Sizen. It's a 3-2. It's only a 1-goal lead here for T-Jester, who fakes the kickoff, but Sizen well aware of that.
And once again, Sizen taking the big boost. T-Jester struggling to collect enough boost to make a defense happen here, but he blocks the ball in midfield and just scores out of thin air. Very well done by T-Jester. Let's take a look at that again. And he also manages to bump Sizen away, so Sizen can only watch from the sidelines as T-Jester increases his lead at 2-4-2.
Yeah, Sizen simply didn't get the flick that he wanted. Sizen tried to induce a bit more angle of it behind T-Jester. Unfortunately, his execution lacking a tiny bit of T-Jester. Gonna make you pay. Flip cancel shot against the crossbar. Gonna help it out, but he still has got ball possession for how long? Has to cut it no way. And he can get the back boost he wanted. Has to relinquish ball control. As a result, as now the mind games continue. Who's gonna challenge from where? When are you gonna challenge? When you're T-Jester, who looks for a demo, an aggressive demo there in the opponent's half. T-Jester making Sizen's life hell.
Yeah, T-Jester's really doing a great job. Just taking control, not letting Sizen do what he wants to do, basically. Always there. Now a great opportunity for Sizen, and the ball drops perfectly. Just needs a little bump. And it's in. Very well done by Sizen. But still, T-Jester is in the lead. He just needs to hold on to it for 2 more minutes.
That's a great challenge there from Sizen, though. But the kickoff, that's certainly not great. That's certainly great for T-Jester, though, who immediately takes his 2-goal lead back. Once is a cruel mistress. She giveth, but she also taketh away.
And in this instance, she giveth to T-Jester. 2 goals up again, as it's been for most of this game. And this is so well done by T-Jester. Just takes the ball around the corner, and Sizen just doesn't expect it. You can tell he was going for it, but T-Jester with the control, and Sizen another tiny mistake that's come very costly. Now it's a 3-goal lead for T-Jester, and every second ticking off the clock is a second for T-Jester now. He just needs to hold on, and he's even going to make another one work. Sizen is struggling here.
Yeah, Sizen is in deep trouble. T-Jester shows his once pedigree. And now Sizen really, I mean, it has to contend with it, but this is not news to Sizen. Of course, the French community, we know it. They are incredibly close-knit. They all know each other because it's all centered around Rocket Baguette, right? Especially in the esports. Sizen beginning to be a little bit frustrated by T-Jester just simply not leaving the ball alone, refusing to leave the ball alone. Just circling around, finding the flick, finding the 8th.
I mean, I think now we're at the point where Sizen just has to find his mental fortitude and just be like, okay, game 1 just didn't go my way. just think about game 2 already, maybe, because 5 goals lead for T-Jester is not going to be possible. I mean, theoretically, it's always possible, but to be honest, it doesn't look like it's possible at the moment. T-Jester is just in control of this game 1, and Sizen really needs to think about what he's going to change for game 2, because he just can't approach it the same way he did here. T-Jester is just making him work for every goal he wants to score.
T-Jester overall is just playing really close to the ball, and that's incredibly frustrating for a player like Sizen, who wants his time to do exactly this, but the crossbar denies in this instant. Quick little counter, shot from downfield, it's going to find his way through. Sizen calls for next game, knows that this one is not winnable for him against a player of T-Jester's caliber.
Yeah, we're just gonna see what the players decide on. I'm always in favor of just playing a game until the clock runs out. Gives us more goals to watch. And even if it's over, theoretically, we want to show the entire game.
T-Jester is just going to do exactly that. Sizen taking the time to regroup and using that to his advantage, trying to find a way. Because T-Jester, again, as I said earlier, he's just playing an incredibly annoying style of ones. He's playing very close. He's not giving you any breathing room. He's simply not leaving the ball alone. And with that, he's going to take game number 1 of this best of 5.
Yeah, and in a very dominant fashion. I was expecting this to be a close one, but I didn't expect to be so one-sided, basically. T-Jester really taking control of the game early on and not giving an inch to Sizen, who was really struggling to make anything happen. And we, for the second half of the game, there was maybe 1 or 2 situations where Sizen was even potentially able to score. It was just all in the hands of a T-Jester. But maybe this changes in game 2. So it's a 1-0 lead for T-Jester, but we are in a best of 5. That means T-Jester or Sizen, both of them need to win 3 out of these 5 games to make it to the grand final, to the offline final in Berlin. And I'm sure both of them want to be there. Sizen now. Oh, T-Jester. Yeah. He saw that Sizen has a full boost, and he just demos him.
Oh, trying to go high now for the 50-50s. T-Jester again getting bumped though by Sizen, and finds better access into the 50 game, finds better access into the challenges. Great flick, early flick, punishes T-Jester for sticking too close to the ball. Sizen opening the scoring in game 2.
Yeah, and you can already tell that Sizen has another plan now. Much more aggressive, also working with the bumps a lot, just not letting T-Jester get away, basically. He was just chasing him around, just bumping him, disturbing him, and that can, of course, be a great tactic to stop an opponent and stop his game plan. But T-Jester gets both corner boosts, so Sizen pretty much starved now, but T-Jester, he can't finish it.
Not getting the final touch. Maybe here, though, goes for the bump. Oh! Air dribble bump. Successful. It's called an air dribble cringe for a reason, but it's cringe, but it's still so good.
I mean, if it works, right? It's part of the game. It's part of the mechanics. And you just need to make it happen in such a perfect way as T-Jester just did. And those are the goals that can really frustrate a player, you know? Because you just feel so incapable of changing anything of the outcome, because he was in the right position, everything was going his way, and then you just get bumped and you can't defend anymore. But this time around, Sizen just goes for the long shot towards the goal from the midfield line. And T-Jester misses his timing.
The flick simply too strong. Yeah, nicely done. The flick simply too strong, and T-Jester again being punished for sticking a little bit too close to his opponent and to the ball. Sizen certainly has adapted and has recognized what made T-Jester so good in this game. Number one is immediate challenges again. T-Jester's quickest to that one. Great read off the corner and equalized the game.
I could watch this all day. Very well done by T-Jester. Great goal, and taking the score back to an equalized 2-2. I already love this matchup because it's just gonna get more and more intense the longer the two of them play each other. The more games we have, the more intense it's gonna be, because the longer you play an opponent, the more you know what his plans are, how he's reacting to certain situations. And it's going to become much more of a, either it's going to become more of a brawl where both of them are working with bumps and demos a lot more to just force a mistake out of the opponent, or force him to not be able to defend, or it's just going to be about who makes less mistakes, essentially.
And right now, less mistakes, well, no mistakes being made by either player. Sizen, that's going to be sneaking it past T-Jester, who was caught between a rock and a hard place in a very, very awkward position. Sizen got the boost on respawn, and then T-Jester, he just didn't know where to go or where to position himself with it. Sizen, again, taking the lead.
It's always these tiny micro decisions that can really cost you a lot. As you said, T-Jester, he was struggling a bit to find his positioning, just wasn't sure of where he wants to be. And Sizen just takes that opportunity. T-Jester not able to finish now. Two great attempts by him. Sizen just sticking around in the goal, doesn't even have to move, just lets the crossbar do his job. And nice defense out of Sizen, and that should be the 4-2 score.
Great evasion on the air drill. Bump attempt there from Sizen, goes up high early to avoid the bump, and then has got that one boost pad that propels him forward onto the counter attack. Sizen taking advantage and finally having a multi-goal lead for the first time in this series. And a kickoff that goes his way as well. Can T-Jester recover? Yes, he can.
Sizen with the corner boost. T-Jester, he doesn't have any boost left, but Sizen just misses the timing a tiny bit. Now he has to run towards his own goal to save the ball, and he could be able to finish, but T-Jester with the last bit of boost manages to save it. T-Jester is still struggling to find any boost, and Sizen just keeps on peppering the goal with shots. T-Jester, no way! Oh my god! Such a great job out of T-Jester, honestly, saving so many attempts out of Sizen, but yeah, in the end, it didn't work out anymore. No boost for him, and you're just gonna struggle so much, but very, very nice attempt from T-Jester to defend his own goal. 5-2 scoreline now for Sizen with 1.5 minutes left on the clock.
Great defensive effort from T-Jester, but in the end, just a little lob, very cheeky there from Sizen against the crossbar, gets it down, and it's going to be his 6th of the game, half a dozen. T-Jester not finding his way back to offense as he did in the earlier game. Now has got a comeback and a half to do with 4 goals in about 1:13. That's going to be very, very interesting.
I mean, he needs 1 or 2 kickoff goals. There's no other way, I think. But maybe he can make it work this way. But no, Sizen's there, has the read, has the perfect position, and he's just answering with a counter attack. And Sizen knows he just needs to, keep his goal clean and just waste as much time as possible. Having the ball in the opponent's corner is enough. Just let the clock run down. He has such a huge lead, 4 goals advantage, but T-Jester makes it a 3-goal advantage for Sizen by scoring. And now he has 45 seconds, so 15 seconds per goal for T-Jester to take it into the golden goal overtime.
It's so rude to just jump in there. It's desperation tactic for T-Jester to just jump into the ball there, going full force ahead. Sizen certainly didn't expect that to happen, but now so content with the kickoff. That's going very well. T-Jester not finding the power on the shot, however. And with that, Sizen's lead still intact. Can he fight the flick? It's against the crossbar, but the demo on the exit will give Sizen yet more time to play keep away with that ball. Perfect control, total control from Sizen here. T-Jester simply running out of time to do anything in this game. Number 2, 10 seconds remain. No goals found. T-Jester will find one here, but that's... is that going to be enough? It certainly needs to be a kickoff goal now.
And 2 of them. I think there's just not enough time. 7 seconds, even for 2 kickoff goals, is almost impossible. I mean, in theory, on paper, it could happen, but he would need to, basically put 2 in directly, and as we can see, doesn't manage it on the first attempt. So even if this one goes in, there's just no time left for T-Jester. But nice comeback out of him. We had a 6-2 lead for Sizen at one point. So T-Jester really making Sizen sweat a bit again. In the end, it's a win for Sizen, but that means we will have at least 2 more games, and it's not going to be a 3-0 scoreline. And I'm very happy about that because it's super entertaining to watch these 2 go at it.
Yeah, and 2 very different play styles as well, going for a T-Jester, more the sort of classic one, Sizen trying to be a bit more flashy, but T-Jester having to adapt now. His play style of sticking very close to the ball was punished in the beginning, and was punished very harshly in the beginning by Sizen. So I'm going to be very interested to see how they approach this next one. It's a 1-1. We move to an effective best of 3. Winner of this game 3 will move to match point.
And that's what both of them are fighting for. Sizen, great opportunity, but isn't able to direct the ball to where it needs to be. Still, once again, Sizen with the full boost, just toying around with T-Jester. Who's going to be the first to score in this game 3? Another offense coming in from Sizen, and T-Jester misses the opportunity. And that means it's a 1-0 lead for Sizen. Excuse me.
Sizen reading the challenge, knowing the challenge would come from T-Jester. And now seems like Sizen has got his opponent a bit downloaded, a bit red. It's the fake kickoff. It's going to just be pushed into the corner by Sizen. T-Jester can't do anything with the bounce immediately, but here we will. Subpar recovery from Sizen. We're going to have to look at that one again. What happened to Sizen there in the midfield? Tried to recover, but T-Jester's touch is simply too good down the line. And with that, it's an equalizer.
And this is so good for T-Jester, just not letting Sizen get away with it. Equalizing straight away. Oh, T-Jester, great opportunity, and that should be the lead for T-Jester for the first time in this game number 3. Just winning out against Sizen and then getting enough power on the shot to make it impossible for Sizen to get back in time. And we haven't even played for 1 minute and it's already super intense. Not giving an inch to the oh my god. To the opponents is what I was going to say.
Oh, that's
well done by T-Jester.
Well controlled.
Yeah.
T-Jester knows Sizen's behind him. He knows he has to beat him. So he shoots it against his backboard with the hope that a counter-attack could materialize, and materialize it did by T-Jester. 3-1 multi-goal lead now for him. And again, the honors are on Sizen to find, well, anything, really, against a defensive blockade. That is T-Jester. Again, fake challenge forward, tries to get it to the side. But the angle, the cutback, is a bit too much, and that bump. Oh, the demo saving him. He screwed it up originally, but then again, it was Sizen with a plan B.
Yeah, that's just the name of the game for Sizen, and also quick recovery for the shot. Well done by Sizen. And that's just exactly what he needed to do. And both of them are getting a bit more tricky now with their plays, let's say. A bit deeper in the playbook. And it's so much fun to watch this series develop, you know. Both of them going into...
No!
Oh, this is so unlucky for T-Jester. Oh my god.
Oh, that certainly feels backflip. Or side flip, rather. From T-Jester. Misreads it off the backboard and then Sizen says, oh, that's an easy goal. I'll take that. Thank you very much, T-Jester. That's the equalizer. For Sizen, who again after the kickoff comes up the better and just goes immediately for the shot. T-Jester wanted to juke him out, but Sizen saw right through it and finds his lead.
What a comeback from Sizen. Now it feels as if he has full control of this game, and it only took him 1 minute to score these 3 goals to come back here. And now taking the lead into his own hand. What else can he do? And where is T-Jester? He needs to score as soon as possible to equalize the game. Oh my god, misses the jump, and that's too easy for Sizen. He's just looking on, going like, okay, if you're not going for it, I'll just put it in. Thank you. The delay from Sizen. Very well played.
Oh, all axles have been broken. Sizen, you can't do that. T-Jester's got a family. They've just seen him absolutely get faked out of his mind. Sizen opening up the lead. There's that second goal, but immediately relinquishing one. T-Jester finds an opportunistic shot and finds 1 goal. Only 1 the difference now between the two.
Just in time for T-Jester. It's so important that Sizen doesn't really get this 3-4 goal lead as we've seen in the past. And T-Jester, another great shot, and the equalizer is here, and we only have half the game played. It's 2.5 minutes left, and we've already seen 10 goals out of these 2 players, 5 each. And at this point, it's impossible to tell who will win this game 3. It's just so well matched, this duel of these 2 French players. And it's not only well matched, it's also very entertaining and very high level.
T-Jester moving forward, trying to catch Sizen off guard, but his compatriot is well aware of all the tricks in the playbook. As he finds and gets a great shot in his own corner, T-Jester baited in too deep in his opponent's half, needs to find a great 50, doesn't do so, and Sizen will be the beneficiary. 6-5 in favor of, well, there we see it, the ex-regional finalist.
The ex-regional finalist. Well, he could be one of the finalists in the Erazer Euro to Victory 2024 if he keeps playing like he does right now. I'm already looking forward to this grand final. It's going to be so fun to see all these players match up. We also don't really have a clue about the skill level of the players coming in from all these offline events, Game City Vienna, Paris Games Week, and of course the Gamescom. So it's going to be interesting to see if there are some hidden gems in those 8 players, or 8 players coming in from the offline events. Great save out of T-Jester, but he doesn't get it on the counter-attack, or will he? Yes, he will! Makes it happen, equalizes yet again.
Just about ran out of boost completely, but just reaches it. Sizen going very aggressive there, trying to find the demo on T-Jester, overcommitted as a result, and T-Jester just had enough boost to get it through. Kickoff very neutral, important bump there by Sizen, who wraps around just to get a second boost pad to claim his own. The shot against the corner of the crossbar. Sizen is back in position, but is on low boost yet again. Evades the bump, gets the save on top of that, but still under heaps and heaps of pressure. That shot again, high Sizen, he'll have to judge it. Judges it perfectly on his own defensive stance. Now on the counter, doesn't quite get the power.
Very, very intense moments here for Sizen. Now maybe his chance to make a goal happen, but no. T-Jester off the backboard. Gets a touch done. But here comes Sizen once again.
Is that going to be in? No.
Yeah.
Sizen coming back to it. Gets the fake.
Oh, T-Jester.
But they're giving the ball away.
He was just lurking. He was just waiting for this moment. And then he's there. Takes the ball. Prepares the shot. And it's in. And now it's 16 seconds left for Sizen to equalize. We haven't had an overtime today. But this game would deserve an overtime, to be honest. What can Sizen do? 10 seconds to go.
Oh, T-Jester.
He's just gonna
tries to
let
take
the
control.
Clock run down. Sizen last chance
gets
for
it up.
T-Jester. He's on it. And he makes it happen. 2-1 lead. Match point for T-Jester now.
Just about holding on. Is T-Jester with 0 boost to his name, but perfect position on the backboard. Sizen has to keep the ball up. Can't get it past him. And he will find a very, very narrow lead. And now, Sizen has it all to do in Game 4. It's qualification point for T-Jester.
T-Jester just needs this one game. And even if he loses this one, then he has another chance for Sizen. It's do or die. He needs to win this game and the next game if he wants to make it to Berlin, to the grand final. Takes out T-Jester with a demo. T-Jester is not there in time, and Sizen starts off game number 4 perfectly with a goal within the first 11 seconds. And it's getting rougher, as I said. The longer this series is going, the more demos and bumps we're gonna see.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Sizen certainly found his stinger with the demo on T-Jester.
I mean, he was playing for Vitality at some point, so he is a B. Or was a B at least.
He certainly knows and has rediscovered his stinger. But T-Jester, not to be outdone. Again, great on defense and has his 50 with 0 boost, has his recovery. Oh, he fakes the one touch, completely juking outside and effectively saving him from a quick and uncontested counter-attack. But what can he do? He again, great save. The recovery is good to match, but Sizen doesn't have an idea on how to proceed.
Yeah, you could tell. He was attempting it. Now doesn't get the save done. He gets a touch on the ball, but there's just too much power coming out of T-Jester. Going up, and here comes Sizen, touches the ball, but yeah, T-Jester gets another touch on there, just blocks the rebound and gets it in for the equalizer. 1-1 scoreline. I could watch this for a few more matches, to be honest. It's so well matched. It's so much fun to see how these players are fighting to score. Another early challenge out of Sizen. Now the demo comes out once again. But will there be enough time to get a shot on the goal before T-Jester is there? He tries to just let it roll towards the goal, essentially, trying to get a jump out of T-Jester, but he's not going to give him a chance. Huge boost advantage for Sizen at the moment. Can he make it work? Just needs to put the ball up high enough for T-Jester. I don't know how he does it. Without any boost, he still makes the defense happen. And Sizen, here he comes again.
Sizen trying to be a bit too complicated. And T-Jester just knows that Sizen likes to be that complicated player. Now a simple flick. It's going to be more problems for T-Jester, who's now completely run out of boost. And finally, Sizen decides to abandon the flip resets, abandon the backboard, and just go for a shot. And that immediately works out for him.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to go back to basics, and it works out. And once again, like in the first game of Sizen we've seen, or the first series we've seen, just this brute force aggression of Sizen really paying out dividends in the end, making the lead happen for Sizen once again. 2-1 scoreline now, after almost half the match gone. And if we think back at the game before, then we had 10 goals already at the 2.5 minute mark. So you can tell they have found their rhythm, they know how to defend, and Chichester knows how to attack as well. Gets another goal in, gets the equalizer once again for the 2-2 scoreline.
Unfortunately, there couldn't recover in time, did Sizen. And Chichester is able to punish it. And again, Chichester coming out with the fair kick of Sizen, not reading them as quickly as he'd like, giving away possession willingly to Chichester, who's now behind Sizen, going to get the cutback on the back, but he gets it. But the second touch, Chichester's going to be there as Sizen again consumes the 100, gets the shot.
Oh,
it's quick enough, it's good enough. Underneath Chichester, 3-2, lead reinstated.
Oh, this looked like Chichester had it, but as you said, it just goes under him. Oh. And Sizen in the lead once again, but it's so close. And Sizen needs to win it. Chichester, he knows he has this one extra opportunity in game 5 if he can't finish now, but why not finish here and make this dream of being in the grand final in Berlin a reality. Back into the equalizer, 3-3, 2 minutes to go.
Chichester, woof. Massive flick on the backboard. And yeah, why push it to game 7 if you don't necessarily need to push it to that game 7? Only 100 seconds left. Chichester's great catch. Does he have the boost? He does have the boost. He gets it through. And he takes a late lead.
I think there's enough time for Sizen to come back. But he needs a
100%.
goal. I mean, I think none of the two have had a 2-goal lead so far in this game. So Sizen really needs to score quickly and then just be the last one to score, and that's it.
Sounds so easy out of our commentary.
Chichester, that's a huge opportunity, huge miss from Sizen, and Chichester is just escorting the ball into the goal of Sizen. And now there it is, the 2-goal lead. He didn't have that in this match. But is it enough for Chichester? Can Sizen come back? Still a lot of time on the clock. 1 minute, 23 seconds for Sizen.
And most importantly, a great kickoff, and a kickoff that's just going to bounce in. Neither Sizen nor Chichester, I think, really read that it's going to bounce in immediately, but, well, it did. And that's to the begrudgingly. Sizen has to accept that. And now suddenly 3 goals, his a deficit. And of course, a tournament life. Sizen, fake kickoff once again from Chichester. This time has been recognized early enough by the ex-Vitality player. Chichester 0 boost. He's got to reach it though. He's got enough boost pads on his way back. Sizen moving in, but not finding the dunk.
Wow, that was a huge risk out of Chichester to not just take the ball away there. What's happening? Sizen, no boost. Now he's found some. But Chichester on the offense. Not able to put it in. Very difficult angle to hit. But it doesn't matter for Chichester. He just needs to play time. He just needs to let the clock run down. But Sizen, here he comes. Perfectly taking advantage of that opportunity that presents itself by Chichester, just dropping the ball basically in front of him. And Sizen, he's just waving out of the window of his Fennec and says, thank you, my friend, I'll take that. But 40 seconds to go for Sizen, and he needs to score 2 goals without Chichester scoring another one. I think another one is going to be Not enough. What's happening? Sizen, he's fighting for his tournament life here.
But TJ's perfect control and running down the clock as well, finding all the boost pads in his wake. 15 seconds, evading the demo as well. Can he find one more? No, demo comes through. Now Sizen needs to score with this attack and then have a good kickoff. What does he do? He goes into the skies looking for the aerial prompt. Probably no. Flip reset, saved by TJ, who will qualify for the grand finals.
And you can see Sizen immediately leaving the match. He's not happy. But T-Jester, he's gonna be a very, very happy man. He's going to the boot camp, he's going to Berlin, and he has a chance to become the champion of the Erazer Euro to victory. What a game, very, very entertaining, very high level. And yeah, too bad for Sizen. Maybe he should just book a ticket to the Paris Games Week and have another shot there. There are still 2 slots for the French players left, even after this online qualifier. But honestly, great fortitude out of T-Jester, just being there when he needs to be and just knowing what he has to do to make this game work in his favor. And yeah, just a very well-deserved victory.
Yeah, getting the job done is T-Jester 3-1 over Sizen after his previous both sweeps, 3-0 over Skal and 3-0 over Kushi. I mean, he just played an incredibly efficient game. Sizen was very much in control a lot of the time, but he just punished the overcommitments, played the mode rather and played the man. I think incredibly crucial in his victory, that first game where he won 8-3 or 9-3 or something ridiculous like that, where he just had Sizen a bit stumped, who had to then adapt. After that, it was very close, but T-Jester just pulling through there.
Yeah, just great job out of T-Jester. He is now one of the challengers for the Game Changer title, going to Berlin and going to be fighting against 17 other players. We have 18 players in total in the grand final, and it's going to be so much fun to witness this offline event. And yeah, all of you, of course, also have the opportunity to watch that. There's going to be a stream. There's also going to be some audience offline, I assume. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. And please make sure to also join the Erazer Season Pass. Maybe we can take a look at that while we're waiting for confirmation if we can have an interview with our winner. We have a season pass, the Erazer Season Pass. You can register on the homepage, and then you have some quests to complete where you will collect points, also collect points for the community. And the more people participate, the bigger the prize pool will be. Erazer is really giving out lots and lots of prizes. There are coupons for the online shops, there is hardware to win, and there are also some tickets for the Gamescom LAN. So lots of stuff to win here. You can see it, even some gaming chairs in there and screens, and there's just so much stuff to win. So make sure to sign up, level up, and win.
Well, that is exactly what you should do if you're watching at home. seasonpass.erazer.gg. Do the quest, get the points, and maybe even we'll see you on the Gamescom LAN next year, or you can just have a bit of a peripheral or even a better PC for your own home setup. Meanwhile, we unfortunately just had a confirmation from T-Jester that his English is unfortunately probably not good enough for an interview, which is, well, sort of expected. He is French. Yeah, they don't necessarily speak a lot of English, but of course, fair enough. Unfortunately, so we will not be hearing from T-Jester, but that just means that we can go quicker, Schlaum, to our next matchup, because we have got a treat. And by a treat, I mean probably one of the best once players that has ever graced the game. We're going to have Moxie take to the pitch against Sebora.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, I think it's proof that our qualifying system works. We now had the top 4 seeds all in the semifinals, so it means like the players that were really good in the Swiss stage also made it through the playoffs. But yeah, sadly, I think the road to Berlin is gonna end for Sibora today, because he is matched up against Moxie. And if you're a player that has a flick named after him, that's proof that you are a good player, I would say. So yeah, I think it's gonna be very, very hard for Sibora to do anything against Moxie. But I'm still hoping to get an entertaining series and maybe another 3-0. Maybe Sibora can find some way to make Moxie sweat a bit. Potentially just play dirty Rocket League, you know, just work with bumps, work with demos, and just make him uncomfortable. And sometimes that's the way to beat those big names, because they're used to just winning everything. And if you make them uncomfortable, if you really make them work hard for their success, then sometimes you just get them to this level of tilting, basically, that can work in your favor. So I'm gonna be very, very interested to see what can happen here. But yeah, we're just waiting for the 2 players to get ready to join our lobby, and once they're here, then we can get this party on the road. This is gonna be our final match of the day, and this is gonna decide if Sibora or Moxie are gonna make it to the offline grand final in Berlin. And yeah, maybe one of the 2 of them has the chance to become the game changer, the Erazer Euro to Victory. It's an annual event by Erazer in esports, and last time around it was sim racing, won by Niklas Laubisch, and this year it's Rocket League. And I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next year, if they're doing it again, which game it will be. Yeah, it's just such a cool campaign to also find new talent and up and coming players.
And meanwhile, both players have joined the lobby. Both players are ready. So we'll give the go. It's a best of 5 qualification for Berlin. And one of the best 1v1 players takes it to the pit as Moxie in blue versus Sibora in the orange. And in their last meeting, I've just had a little check. I've just seen something. Sibora playing Moxie in the Champions Road 1v1 tournament, losing there 2-0. Hopefully he can give it a bit of a fight here, but Moxie already taking control. Monster shot, perfect placement, no chance for Sibora.
And the speed on that shot, 115 kilometers per hour. So these Moxie flicks are gonna be very, very interesting to see how much speed he can get on there. And he just puts the ball over his opponent, just showing him who's boss here. 17 seconds played, and it's already a 2-0 lead for Moxie. And as you said, the 2 of them have played each other in the past, and it's not been that long. But yeah, Sibora, he's going to struggle a lot in this matchup. Moxie's just so good.
Exactly 2 weeks ago, did they play each other? I'm gonna try to find the bump as well. I'm going to try to find the exact game scores in the meantime. But oh boy, that's a start from Moxie, certainly, if we've seen one. And I mean, for those that don't necessarily watch a lot of Rocket League, and for those that, you know, don't follow the Rocket League scene as quickly and as closely as we might do, there's a reason we hype up Moxie as one of the best once players to ever grace the game, and that's because he holds the once MMR record. He has the highest ever ELO rating in the 1v1 game mode at 1891.
Jesus.
The highest rank, for reference, the highest rank in ones needs an ELO of 1350, as he puts in the 4th goal. He's been over 500 ELO points above that. For reference, the next best players that we had in any of the qualifiers in terms of MMR rating was in the sort of 1650 MMR range. So yes, Moxie is ridiculously good at ones.
And you can tell already, I mean, 1 minute down and already 4 goals up. They just need to introduce a new rank in ones. You know, there's Supersonic Legend, it goes until 1800, and then you just become Moxie.
It's just not to stop. Everything goes his way. 6 shots, 5 goals. An absolute machine. And for me, an absolute pleasure as well, because this is the first time I've actually seen Moxie play 1v1. And, well,
Yeah.
It didn't overpromise, that's for certain. In this opening minute, Sabora has been absolutely no lifeline and absolutely no light at the end of the tunnel here in the opening phases. But this one, no, it's going to be high. Moxie, perfect touch. Out of defense, finds the back boost as well. Now Sabora again, 0 boost, back forwards, flick over him. Oh, Moxie's good.
Yes, he is. But I actually like the attempt that we just saw coming out of Sabora with basically just a bicycle flip backwards towards the goal. Not very likely that goes in, but I think that's probably the only way to score on Moxie, from what I can tell right now, is to just try something very different. And this time it works, just making the kickoff happen. Wins the 50 and then just puts the ball onto Moxie's goal. And as we said, it's gonna happen in once. Even if you're potentially the best ones player in Europe, you're gonna get scored on, because that's just part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Moxie didn't win the Champions Road 1v1 tournament. That honor fell to...
Nas, right?
That was, yeah, exactly. That honor fell to the, well, French-Moroccan player Nas, or rather Belgian-Moroccan player Nas. He's also a pro player playing in North America. But, you know, Moxie still considered one of the best, as he puts in the Brazil in inside 2 minutes. Moxie's just put in the Brazil. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really... And I mean, we're in the semi-final. It's not like Sabora is a bad player, you know. He has beaten quite a few other players in this tournament. But that's just the skill level of Moxie. He makes another very good ones player just, yeah, look silly basically, because he's just so good. And it's also like this aura, you know. If you are facing Moxie, then you already kind of know that you're not going to win, you know? And that's just becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy in most cases. Because if you already go into the match knowing, oh my god, I'm playing against, as I said, potentially the best, or at least one of the best in the world, then yeah, it's just not gonna happen. So Sabora, I mean, hats off to him if he just gets another few goals down. I mean, at least he's showing off what he can do here, even though Moxie manages to defend and just answers with another aerial of himself. But Sabora is there, and now it's an open net, and Sabora with another goal. And that's what he has to do, just take advantage of these tiny mistakes or maybe unlucky rebounds and just get the open net goals down. It's not gonna lead to a victory, I assume, but it must feel good to at least be able to score.
Yeah, 100%. But Moxie, let's see. You know, he's only styling now that he's got the 5 or 6 goal lead, right? He knows exactly when he can style and when he can, you know, go for a few quote-unquote suboptimal plays or riskier plays, and then he knows when to turn the dial again and turn the dial up to 11. As I'm pretty sure, I mean, we talked about a bit earlier, the RCS introducing the 1v1 circuit, and Moxie must be ecstatic for that. And I mean, he'd be a great picker for sort of any org that looks to play in the RCS or in the 1v1 scene, because they just know they got at least a very strong contender, if not a favorite for the win of the entire thing.
Yeah, and I think he will be contacted by quite a few orgs now, because yeah, as you said, it's almost guaranteed that you will have a decent result, at least, if not winning the entire thing in Europe at least. So yeah, that's just a no-brainer if you want to be present in the RCS. And it's gonna be, I mean, you only have to pay for the one player, you know. So it's also gonna be quite interesting for a few orgs to just have some presence in the Rocket League space without committing to a full 3-man roster plus coach plus manager. You just have the ones player that takes a salary and that's it. But you still have something to talk about. And you can tell everyone, yeah, we're doing Rocket League. So it's definitely gonna be interesting for quite a few orgs. And I think it's such a cool move out of Psyonix as well, to just give the ones mode this credit and just make it part of the official tournament cycle.
It's going to be very interesting. A Frenchman, of course, most likely going to be playing under a French organization, but which org will take Moxie? Would it be Vitality, Calming Core, maybe even a BDS? I'm sure he's gonna have many suitors that will go to him as an individual, because they've seen what he can do. Moxie again, oh, it's brilliantly put past Sabora for his 9th. The control, unparalleled.
Yeah, but I'm a bit disappointed he hasn't managed to find double digits yet. 14 seconds to go. Yeah, it's just pure dominance. As you said, he just takes a huge lead and then starts playing with his food, essentially. Trying not just scoring, but trying to make the goals happen in the most interesting way possible. Yeah, it's over now. Game 1 goes to Moxie, no surprise there. But hats off to Sabora for at least making 2 goals happen. And yeah, not just forfeiting straight away.
I mean, the stats are just ridiculous. 17 shots, 9 goals, every shot on target basically, because, well, from the 17 shots, Sabora had 8 saves, and the other 9 were just goals. So basically everything on target as well. It is... I can't stress enough how ridiculously good Moxie is. And let's not forget, Sabora is really good as well. Sabora has reached 2.3k in ranked. He has, in the 2's game mode, he has reached 1500 in the 1's game mode. He is a very strong player. He's reached top 32, I think, in the RSCS. But even a player so good as Sabora, that is very much considered semi-professional at this point, struggles against a master of the 1's game mode.
Yeah, it's just it just looks a bit ridiculous, you know, because Sabora is very good. And if we had matched Sabora with either of the other semi-finalists, it would have been a much closer game, you know. But playing against Moxie, he's gonna make everyone look a bit silly, you know, because he's just so good. There's just no one else in this tournament that can match up to him, and I think he is the favorite for also taking the Game Changer title in the end. Because I mean, we can see it just feels a bit unfair almost.
And you know, we were thinking about this like the past weeks, where okay, we knew the French would come out because the French always come out, but we didn't really know what quality player or what level of player of the French scene would give himself. And we were like, surely Moxie is not going to play this, right? There's no prize money. It's quote unquote just peripheral prizes and hardware prizes. But no, Moxie is here. And as soon as at least the Germans saw this, they were like, damn, this is going to be a lot more difficult than we thought it would be.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's just hardware prices, quote unquote, but it's quite a big set of hardware prices. You're essentially getting a full gaming setup. So who knows? Maybe Moxie just wants to put another gaming setup at his parents' house or something. That's definitely an option now. By winning this, you can just decide to have another gaming setup somewhere, or maybe just have a spare gaming setup, or maybe it's even an upgrade for him. Who knows? I mean, Erazer weren't really saving any second tier stuff, you know, like the first prize of this tournament, it's gonna be absolute top-notch hardware. So I really get that Moxie's playing this, and especially with the RSCS 1's tournament coming up, I think every offline event he can participate in and take that experience as well of being on stage and playing on stage with cameras in your face. It will also help him a lot come the next season, you know. So maybe that's also a thought that he just wants to take this offline event experience and use that for the future.
Yeah, certainly an interesting look at it, especially with only the top 2 of the next year of RCS 1v1 circuit are going to be playing in front of the crowd, as there's only going to be 1 match live on stage at each major for each region. So only the top 2 Europeans get to travel to the major to play in front, and Moxie, certainly one of the players that you'd expect to be favorites and chief amongst which are going to be traveling down as one of the two. But we've seen weirder stuff happen in 1v1 tournaments in the past. But now Moxie goes for the Cooksy pinch. It's perfect. Oh, it's so good.
Oh. Now he's just showing off. Oh my god.
It's really nearly a perfect Cooksy pinch. Like,
yeah.
The only reason it's not perfect is simply because it bounced once, but the speed was just incredible. It still reached the goal with about 109 kph.
Yeah.
Oh. Try to be too fancy there. Oh, you rude man.
He's just, nah.
Oh,
I mean, it's
the empty jump.
Honestly, watching this, it's, I feel for Sabora because he has to be like, why on earth did I have to be seated on this side of the bracket, you know? Like, why do I have to be in the group with Moxie? It's just, yeah, it just feels so unfair because you can't look good against Moxie, you know? It's impossible.
Yeah, and Sabora's only loss in the Swiss came against a player that didn't even make top 16.
Oh, wow.
That was Sabora's only loss, so he didn't play Sizen, TJS or Moxie in the Swiss. But, you know, that's if your opponent doesn't make top 16, your Buchholz is sort of a bit buggered. And the Swiss system will looking onto very untoward and looking to, well, basically punish you for that. Sabora ending up on Moxie's side of the bracket, and in a single elimination format, that's really not the side of the bracket you want to be on, and Moxie displaying why it's not the side of the bracket you want to be going on. Ground pinch, off target, but immense power.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just trying out stuff, you know, he's just trying to show us as many mechanics as possible at the moment. So he knows he's won this game. But he's just, just styling a bit, trying to entertain the viewers. Oh, Sabora. I'm really feeling for him. I don't want to be in his shoes.
He tries as well to be experimental with the way he challenges Moxie, with the way he comes into his challenge, like now with the wave dash, but nothing works. Moxie just has, and that's an important skill for once especially, just uses his camera so well. Another Cooksy pinch attempt this time. He's going to be pinched more than the ball is, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't get the necessarily angle on it. But Sabora, again, trying to work a lot with wave dash challenges, trying to surprise Moxie with sudden changes in speed. This time it works for him, but most of the time Moxie just has perfect control.
But well-timed demo here and attack by Sabora. I mean, Moxie was just showing off for the last half minute, and then Sabora is just also here, you know, still in the game, still able to score. "20 seconds to go." So we're almost ready to go into game 3, which I don't expect to go any other way than the first 2 games. Nice attempt by Sabora, but Moxie, he doesn't even give him a final goal. He's just gonna counter-attack for the 7-2 scoreline. It could have been much higher if Moxie wanted it to be honest. Like, as we already identified, he's just gonna score a few times and then he's gonna start playing with his food.
Yeah. He's just going to take a bit of a lead and then... that's basically as much as they are going to do. They're talking to each other in French, of course. I'm not capable of speaking the French language. I don't know if you are, but...
Neither am I.
Doubt so. I would love to know what they said. I'm gonna quickly check Google Translate.
Yeah, I was about to do the same, but I'm just gonna keep talking to the viewers while you translate. So yeah, we have two games down, 1 to go, and Moxie is just he would not want to win the game if he doesn't win it. You know, like there's no other way around it. It's just too perfect what he did, and once again, all shots on target, 11 shots out of Moxie, 7 scored and 4 saves out of Sabora. So all shots have been on target for Moxie, which is no surprise. I mean, on his level, a player of this caliber, he's just going to be perfect every time. And even like the things he missed were just like show-off attempts. Basically, trying for pinches and stuff like that. Just trying to show off while we're headed into game number 3, and it's Sabora going for a bit of a bump and maybe even for the first goal scored. Jawohl! Great job out of Sabora, and I'm celebrating in German just because I'm too excited for Sabora.
Stop the count. The game is over. Yeah. Sabora's winning. Let's go. But no, unfortunately, still 4 minutes 51 to survive. Gets a second kickoff goal though.
Well, that's a perfect start.
Yeah. And normally I would say, this is the great start. This is what he needed, but he's playing against Moxie, so I'm not going to say that. Because there's simply too much that's going to come his way. And Sabora at the end of last game acknowledged that fact, saying that sort of implicitly saying, so I'm good, but like you're just on a different level. Like the amount of pressure is just too much at this point. And Moxie taking the compliment in stride, saying, yeah, thank you very much. I mean, I've grinded this mode for about 2 years, so I know what I'm doing. And he certainly does with his 1 goal to halve the lead.
Just taking it slow. And Sabora misses the timing. I mean, the start of this game at least showed us some of the level Sabora is capable of in theory. Just scoring 2 goals in quick succession before Moxie was really waking up. But now he's awake, but Sabora is also here. Not sleeping. Good defense out of him, trying for another attack. The flick. Too brutal. Nothing Sabora can do here. Goes for the corner boost.
He knows what's coming as well. Sabora knows. Like, the flick is going to be to the left corner, and he still can't reach because it's just too good from Moxie. He wins the race also to the 100 as well.
Yeah. It's also just a bit of a gamble because he just doesn't know if Moxie's going to flick or if he's just going to essentially escort the ball into the goal, you know? So you have to decide for one of those options. Oh, another attempt by Sabora. And he makes it happen! Well done by Sabora!
The mind game starts here. Just very slow, very slow. One fake jump from Moxie works, but then I think an unwanted mechanical error from him. The double jump. I think he wanted to flip into that turn rather than double jump, but doesn't matter. Sabora's going to take it. 3-2 the lead.
Well, Sabora is at least making this a bit more interesting. Going for another attack here. No. Doesn't put it on target. Moxie with the counter attack. Gets bumped by Sabora. Not on target. But Sabora is starting to come alive now, feels like.
Yeah, certainly looking stronger here. And a lot of fake jumps, a lot of small little jumps for the recovery to be as unpredictable as possible. This time, though, the counterattack not working out for Sabora. Not getting the flicker. Moxie is simply collecting and driving it down the other end of the pitch. But Sabora showing how you can potentially play against Moxie, having a lot of jumps, just trying to be as unreadable as possible. Seems to be a great way against this master of the once game mode, but individual errors will still be coming in. Sabora now low on boost on the backboard, is caught but will recover just in time. The equalizer still upstanding, but not for long. That's a clean double tap here for Moxie for the lead.
It's still much closer than the first 2 games. But yeah, as you said, you just need to be unpredictable if you want to at least make Moxie struggle a bit. If you're playing classic ones, then yeah, he's just going to read you like a book. Good kickoff for Sabora. But Moxie just takes all the boost there is and just goes up. Misses. And now Sabora.
Oh, double?
Oh! I mean, it almost feels like we got a game on our hands. At least this game 3 is so much more closer than the first 2 were. But it still feels like Moxie is not playing 100% in a way. Maybe he will just decide to end it at one point and then just score 2 or 3 times and then it's done. Hard to read. Sabora is making him at least work for it.
Oh, great 50-50 though from Moxie. Perfect recovery on the sidewall to boot. It just
the
moves.
speed on the shots is so crazy.
And Sabora is really good. Like, Sabora's double flip reset was incredibly clean. And his recovery was good. And here Moxie just shows him, okay, yeah, you don't need to do the fancy stuff in once. The fancy stuff is cool, it works. But you don't need to do the fancy stuff if you can just recover on the wall, recover with wave dashes. That's the most important thing. And now Moxie coming in, tight angle shot attempted, not coming through. Sabora, long clearance, that's going to be in for another equalizer. Moxie is playing a lot more risky with his offense. Sabora, that's why that's why it's a lot closer on the scoreline as well. But Sabora taking his chances as well.
Yeah, I mean, Sabora is really almost making it happen. Even taking Moxie, like taking a game off Moxie essentially, would be a huge success for Sabora. There's not a lot of once players that can claim that. But yeah, Moxie, he also knows he wants to finish, get this over with. Takes the 6-5 lead. 1 minute 18 to go. I really feel for Sabora. I think, especially watching him this game, it would have been a very intense game versus either Sizen or, of course, T-Jester.
60 seconds left on the clock.
Oh. Off the crossbar, into the goal. Yeah, Moxie, now he has the lead. Now he has a 2-goal lead. And I think he's not gonna let that one get away.
Yeah, 2 goals. Moxie wants to complete the sweep. Gave Sabora a bit to look at, a bit to nibble at. But maybe Sabora something with him here on the reset. Moxie, he goes up for the ceiling. He fakes a ceiling challenge. And it's just down to the ground so incredibly quickly that Sabora can't do anything with it. Great idea with the reset there, but unfortunately in the end, Moxie just on the goal line. Great shot! The crossbar will save it. Sabora, and again, that's there as we can see, Sabora can recover. Sabora is a really strong player. But unfortunately for him, Moxie just a little bit better. Oh, doesn't even give him the corner, the sidewall read. That's just rude. Come on, let the man try at least.
Oh man, Moxie, it's just so good. Whatever you do, Moxie does it better. 11 seconds to go.
What will happen here? Do we see a clip? Sabora going for Psycho. 40 doesn't quite get the touch, and with that, Moxie has qualified for the grand final in Berlin, as well as the boot camp in Cologne. What a display of power.
I mean, it's just, it feels unfair to have him in here. It's almost like we already know who's going to be the game changer. At least it feels that way. We don't know who's going to come into this tournament from all the the two qualifiers we have left, the offline qualifiers, Game City, Vienna, and of course also the Paris Games Week, and especially Paris Games Week. I mean, who knows? There are quite a few very good players in the French scene. Maybe some of them will show up to the Paris Games Week and also take on this challenge and become part of the Erazer Euro to Victory. 2 slots we have open for the French scene on the Paris Games Week. So we'll see if they will join us, or who will join us especially, and if there is anyone that can challenge Moxie, because as you said, it's just the man, the myth, the legend essentially. He's just so good.
Yeah, he is incredibly good, but we know that, of course, on the Paris Games Week, a lot of French players will be there. There's also a big Rocket League tournament that's happening on the Paris Games Week, so we might just see some other great players attend there and qualify from there for our grand finals. But that means we have found 14 of the 16 players for our bootcamp, and we found our 12 players that have qualified, or 10 players rather, that have qualified through the online qualifiers. 8 Dach players, and now 2 Frenchmen in T-Jester and Moxie join the fray. So, Schlaum, let's look at where this leaves us on our roadmap with your road to victory, because the road, well, we have turned a corner and we're nearing our final stretch.
Yeah, we are nearing the final stretch. The first 4 qualifiers are done. All the online qualifiers are done. And yeah, there are only a few slots left. 2 of them at Game City, Vienna, which will happen a few weeks from now, from October 11th to 13th. And then, yeah, the Paris Games Week, another 2 slots for the French scene. And as you said, there's a Rocket League tournament happening there, so there will be quite a few Rocket League enthusiasts and pros hanging around, and maybe some of them will also join us in the grand final. All the other players that are not coming in from the Paris Games Week, all the other 16 players, are going to be part of the bootcamp, which is happening simultaneously to the Paris Games Week. And then, of course, we will have 18 players joining us at the grand final in Berlin on November 16. That's going to be super intense. We have a lot of skill in this final 16 group of people, or final 18 group of people. We don't even know who's coming in from Paris Games Week. It's gonna be 2 dark horses. I'm super excited to see who's coming in from the French scene as well. But Moxie, he's gonna be the player to beat. I think most of the players will struggle against him, and it has now become more of a fight for P2 essentially. I think just making it to the final and then losing to Moxie will almost be like a victory for most of these players.
It's like best of the rest, but you know, maybe we don't know how good Moxie is on LAN. Like,
anything can happen.
Let's preface this. Anything can happen on a LAN. On a LAN, you're either great or you're falter under the pressure of playing live. So it's going to be very, very intriguing indeed what's going to happen in Berlin there at the grand final. But of course, the grand final is not the only thing that's been playing for. There are also some prizes, of course, for the players and for you at home. Season Pass.erazer.gg is where you want to head to claim some of the prizes, some of which the pros can already claim as well, because all the qualifiers will get a peripherals with mouse, headset, mousepad, and of course a keyboard. Third place will, on top of that, win a monitor, a chair, a gaming chair, and of course a PC. With second trading in that PC for a gaming laptop to unleash their wrath onto everyone from the move and from the go. And first place winning a big PC, and of course on top of that 2 VIP Gamescom LAN tickets. Oh boy, what a prize pool.
Yeah, I mean, Erazer really going all out on the prizes. A lot of stuff you can win here. And I love that every player that makes it to the grand final will be guaranteed at least a prize, you know. There's no worse feeling than going to a LAN and going home with empty hands. And this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Everyone that will be at the LAN is going to have a prize to take home, and that's always nice. So you know you're not gonna travel for nothing, you know. So very cool move by Erazer. Yeah, I think we are almost done with the broadcast. I don't know what else we can talk about. We had some filler time already, so we talked about all the news in the RSCS world, all the new infos coming in regards of new 1v1 format, also in the biggest and most important RSCS official league, of course. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to Paris. Yeah, Paris is going to be interesting, but I'm not going to be there. But we are going to be in Berlin for the grand final, and I can't wait to be there and see all these players in person, and also see how much this LAN environment is going to affect the big names. You know, because that's always something that you have to look at. How is Moxie gonna play when he's not at home, when he's not in his comfortable used space, you know? Like what's gonna happen when there's cameras in the face and a lot of noise going on, and the pressure also of having a lot of eyes on you. It's gonna be very interesting to see if he can withstand that pressure. But I think that's the only thing that could break him.
And in that facet, we are at the end of your road to victory, the online portion at least. Game City Vienna and Paris Game Week, still 4 more spots there to claim for the grand finals in Berlin. We will catch all of you there in Berlin live from the stage, and we'll be looking forward to meeting as many of you. Thanks again to Erazer and to Medion to making this entire thing possible. Intel as well, of course, for making this entire thing possible, to making and to bringing your road to victory to Rocket League for this year. But this is it for the online qualifiers. We'll see each other on the 16th of November for the grand final of your road to victory. It's been nice having you. Stay safe, and we'll see you then.